know my occupation. I get paid to rock the nation. Roland Hold it now.
Roland Martin is brought to you by General Motors, the all-new 2014 Chevrolet Impala, an enduring icon with rich heritage, integrated technology, and tailored styling that's made to love. The 2014 Chevrolet Impala. From our Washington, D.C. studios, Roland Martin, good morning.
Good morning, my people. Hope all is well with you. Baseball time is in season. They are on the field, and man, can the sport just somehow just focus on the game? Performance-enhancing drugs still at the heart of it, and baseball is not playing around like that. I mean, they used to, just sort of dance around this stuff. Now, of course, they've suspended 13 players, including Alex Rodriguez. He got hit with a 211-game suspension. Of course, he is appealing. So I reached out to my man, Bomani Jones, of course. He is now co-host of the show Highly Questionable on ESPN. With
I like that show, too.
Hey, Bonnie.
How are you, sir?
All good, brother. All good. First of all, congrats on the new gig. You signed a major deal with ESPN. Everybody was coming after you, Fox Sports, this new network. So, hey, a big deal. You're there in Miami. Hope all is well with the new deal.
And I'm a big fan.
Hey, man, I greatly appreciate it. And I got to congratulate Roland on being the National Association of Black Journalists of the Year and the P. Diddy of the convention, dancing and shimmying anywhere that anybody could see with the ascot and the whole nine. You are our Diddy, man.
I appreciate it, Doc. Ain't no thing. I appreciate it. I take it. But Bomani, let's get right to it. This suspension of these players because of this company lab or whatever in Miami baseball. And what's interesting is the players have seemed to say, look, we got to also clean this thing up.
Yeah, I think we got to remember that we got a generation of players now, like 2002, 2003 about is when you really started seeing the backlash against performance-enhancing drugs. If that's 10 years ago, then if you were 10, 11, 12, 13 years old and reading the newspaper and all that stuff when that happened, well, now you're 23, 24, and now you're in the big leagues. Like, this generation of players has a much different attitude about that, and they seem to have forced the hand of their own players' union to say, look, we're going to bring the hammer on the guys that do get caught.
A-Rod is obviously the biggie in this. I mean, he admitted to using drugs beforehand, and it seemed the Yankees didn't want to give him any support. Players didn't want to give him support. I mean, this guy is just persona non grata in so many different ways.
Yeah, he's the dude that wants everybody to like him, and as a result, nobody seems to like him. Like, say what you want about Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds had San Francisco. He saved baseball in the city of San Francisco, so they always loved him there. They don't love Alex Rodriguez anywhere, and the one thing I'll give him, oblivious though he is, he just shows up like, hey, I'm coming to play baseball. I love baseball.
All right, here's my question. You said Barry Bonds saved baseball in San Francisco. Okay, with that in mind, do you think performance-enhancing drugs have saved baseball, period?
I don't know, because, for a long time they did just fine without it, and I've always thought that home run chase in 98 was great, but Cal Ripken breaking Lou Gehrig's record in 1995 was as big a deal for everybody getting back on track.
And you haven't had any more records broken since?
No, not really. I mean, like you had Barry Bonds do that in 01, but I've never been sold that you had to have home runs to really get people into this game. I do know that baseball has a hard time selling itself, and the home run was the easiest thing for it to sell. But I think they would have been fine without all of that stuff.
Well, they haven't had any more. They haven't had any records broken.
And
here's my question.
They're not peeing in the cup.
Here's my question. What's so bad about performance-enhancing drugs, especially when you're talking about professionals, not church leagues. Not church leagues. These are major leagues. So what's so wrong with performance-enhancing drugs for a professional?
And you're saying allow everybody to use it,
right?
Everybody.
See, I don't think it's bad in a vacuum. Like, if those guys want to do that, like, by itself, I don't think it's such a bad thing. The thing about this clinic in Miami, and there are clinics all over Miami, I've come to find, is that they found that one of these, there's a very big-time pitching coach, like a college coach down here, who had been taking his teenage son to that same place to get the same stuff. So kids don't want to play baseball. You can go play baseball on the street with your friends. They want to be baseball players. And if the impression is that you played baseball on a professional level, that this is something that you have to do, then you do, in fact, kind of raise up a generation of kids that feel like they have to do that. And that stuff is hard on your body. You got to mortgage your future for that short-term success. It's not that much different than concussions and stuff like that we talk about in football. Like, you got to worry about making people roll the dice on their future lives just to be good at a sport today.
But that's parenting. That's not Major League Baseball. That's parenting. Parents need to teach their kids. These are professionals.
But but these other people are such an influence on their kids. Like Don Hooten is a former major leaguer. His son, and he saw what it took to get into the business, and his son was a high school player, and he started taking it because he got next to a guy at the gym. It's not, it's really who they are in contact with, and this kid committed suicide. The effects of it, you're not understanding it, what it's doing to your body is as he's saying, but there's so much more than just the parents. It's who these other people that they come in contact with.
And I wish we could just trust these parents, because the idea, if your daddy takes you to go get performance-enhancing drugs, that means that this success is more effective. It's the parent living through the kid, right? It's like, hey, we about to go to the league. Not you about to go to the league. We about to go to the league.
Yeah.
Like, so I agree with you. It should, you could say it should fall on the parents, but as we've learned many times, man, we can't trust everybody's daddy. Not everybody had my mama and daddy,
Yeah, that's the truth.
And Bomani, is also a matter of if you doing right and you're still playing well, you're going, man, I'm doing everything right, and this guy, frankly, is signing a $200 million deal. A-Rod case, 2 different $200 million deals, and he's cheating.
Yeah, and see, there's another detail, I think, with Major League Baseball players that no one talks about, which is that all these guys that are getting caught, at least in this one, I don't think it's particular to being Latin, but a lot of the Latin players are the ones that are getting caught up. And let's say a lot of the players who are not Latin don't seem to be so happy with the fact that these Latin guys are, quote-unquote, getting over, because some people are always concerned about the other guy getting over when we over here working hard. That's been a big part, I think, of why the union has been so strong on this, is because there's some guys that don't want those guys to be the ones that are winning. And those guys are the ones that are like, yo, man, I got to get the hell off this island. This is not, my backup plan is not that strong, and baseball's going to have a hard time fighting it because there's a lot more money in the drugs than there is in being the cop.
Yeah, and if you're not cheating, you're not trying to win.
That's right.
It's as simple as that.
Man.
Tom Joyner's words to live by, boys and
there
girls.
You go. You're not cheating. You're not trying to win.
You're not trying to win.
I can see that one as a quote of the day.
Yes, sir.
Bomani Jones, man, what time is your show on?
Highly questionable. We're on at 4 o'clock. We're not on today, but 4 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2. I do Around the Horn at 5. And Tom, I met your producer Dia this weekend. We were on the panel together. She got it on the ball, man. So I congratulate y'all on all the work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate
Love
it, Bomani.
your show.
Thanks so much, bro. Texas
No problem,
in the house. What town you from?
Houston.
Oh, here we go.
I just wanted to remind you.